that the countries around it might join NATO. Because those countries are scared of Russia invading them. So, to prevent them from joining NATO because they're scared that Russia is going to invade them, Russia invades them. I mean, it's ingenious, truly. It's 10,000 plus IQ. It's 5D chess, my friends. Truly, Putin is a 5D chess player. He does exactly what those countries who want to join NATO are scared of to convince them not to join NATO. And that's exactly why Finland and Sweden have now joined NATO. Claps to Putin. He wanted to prevent this NATO expansion. And now he got even more borders with NATO. And another country close to Moscow and St. Petersburg that joined NATO. But my friends, don't let this Russian rhetoric of proximity to Moscow. Oh, Ukraine is too close to Moscow. It's too close to Russia. They can't allow Ukraine to join NATO. Nonsense. Pure nonsense. Latvia is as close to Moscow as Ukraine. And Latvia has been in NATO for many years now. Has Putin invaded Latvia? No. Why did he not invade Latvia? Because it was part of NATO. Because NATO is the only deterrent that the Russian terrorist regime still respects, that they still accept as something that needs to be considered, that needs to be respected. Power. That's what the Russian terrorist regime respects. And so, my friends, we should act towards them in a way that they will understand and that they will respect. By that I mean, we should finally retaliate against the Russian terrorist regime and allow the Ukrainian people to finally win this war by allowing them to strike any positions in Russia. Let Ukraine strike back!
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 Long-range missiles for Ukraine!
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 Fighter jets 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 for Ukraine!
Air defense 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 for Ukraine!
My friends, there's so many things that need to be said. And I will encourage every single one of you to say them, wherever you are, because people need to hear this. Not only at our rallies, not only on the other side of the screen, but anywhere. Because this war might reach them one day. And they need to know how to deal with the Russian terrorist regime. But for those who are willing and able to come here to our rallies, I remind you all that our rallies happen here at 10 Downing Street on Wednesdays at 6 o'clock, on Fridays at 6 o'clock, and on Sundays at 3 o'clock. They usually last for 2 hours. So please come here and show your support. It's unbelievably important that you do. And now, we're going to end this rally as we started it, with the Ukrainian anthem, and with a bit of singing, I think.